Welcome back to the channel. It's me, your pal Sal. Now sit on down because today we're once again doing Flash games. If you're unaware with the series, this is the third part of what's going to be a 5-part series in which we go through and play 100 different Flash games. So today we're going to be doing games 41 to 60. We essentially just spin this randomized wheel to pick what we're going to play next. Now I originally had a lot of sequels on this wheel. After part 2, I have made an executive decision to scrap a lot of those and replace them with some brand new games. So hopefully we won't get a lot of boring sequels that have like one thing that's slightly different. And if you want to know what a Flash game even is, it's essentially just a browser game made with Adobe Flash Player. We've all played a Flash game before, whether you were a child in school on Cool Mass games, or a completely lonely child with no friends at home booting up Congregate or Armored games. I was both. Flash games definitely hold a nice, warm, toasty, juicy spot in my heart, and I assume if you're watching this, they mean something to you too. So join me as we go back through time and play some of our childhood. Of course, we are going to be ranking these from S to E just to find out which ones are actually good and which ones are only nostalgic garbage. Without further ado, let's dive straight into game number 1. No more diddle-daddling. Right off the bat, we got a powerhouse of Flash. It is no secret that pretty much anyone and everyone has played Age of War. Even listening to the music itself is enough to transport any man or woman a decade back into their childhood. If you were to bring up Flash games to anyone, I guarantee Age of War would definitely come up in conversation. Right off the bat, going to the extras in the main menu takes you to this really sweet drawing of this knight that the creator did. Love that he added this. There's 3 different difficulties to the game: normal, harder, and impossible. For the sake of this video, I'm just playing on normal. Although as a kid, I do remember grinding the shit out of this game to beat the impossible game mode. I don't know if I ever did. In the top right, you have your menu UI where you can buy your troops, turret slots, in which you get 4 of those, and also your special attack, which evolves with every evolution. Speaking of evolutions, you get 5 different evolutions. This ranges from your prehistoric to your knights to your whatever these gay guys are, to your soldiers, to then your sci-fi. The art style overall is pretty good. It definitely was made in MS Paint, but unlike in the last video, this one's actually charming. It looks really good, it fits the times perfectly, and it doesn't age great, but it's not terrible. Also, we can't not talk about the music. Water Flame, the GOAT. Just listen to this and tell me it doesn't make your butthole pucker. Water Flame's also behind a lot of the music used in Geometry Dash, so this guy is an absolute staple in indie gaming. Props to Mr. Water Flame, absolutely love you. I will say the game actually was a lot shorter than I remember. It only took me about 20 minutes to beat, and I swear as a kid that felt way longer than it does now. And also like half of the game is spent in that last evolution. You easily breeze through all 4 evolutions and then get right to the final one, and you're stuck there for like half the game just banging your head against the wall. The only way I won was just to spam the Super Troopers. I also don't like that you have to move your mouse to the edge of the screen to scroll instead of being able to just, you know, click and drag. But other than that, the game's fucking awesome. Obviously a bunch of other sequels came out of this one. I'm pretty sure I did leave Age of War 2 on this list, so maybe we'll get that eventually. Apparently Age of War was actually released in October of 2007, so this is one of the OG Flash games. Like I said, this is probably one of the most influential Flash games that came out, and definitely something that popularized the genre. Onto the rating, I feel like this is pretty obvious S+. No one's gonna argue with that fact. And if you do, go talk to the wall. I'm right, I'm never wrong. Suck my balls. Without further ado, let's just dive straight into the next game. I think I've talked about this one enough. I know I just said that I took away sequels. I didn't take away all of them. I left a few that I thought might be interesting. Unfortunately, Rebuild 2 is not any different, really. I covered Rebuild 1 in the first Flash Games video, so if you want a more in-depth analysis of Rebuild, go check out that one. Obviously, in this game, you can still pick your gender, your name, and your starting item, your city size, and there's also 5 different difficulties to choose from. Right off the bat, the new PNGs that they use for the characters are horrific. Especially the dog, dude. It doesn't look right. They're very reminiscent of an even worse version of Gmod, but at least Gmod is kind of charming and weird. This one's just weird. So some of the new stuff that they've actually implemented is bartending, some graphical changes like we just mentioned, a subway system, no, not the one that diddles kids, the one with trains, a lot more random events, like merchants, survivors making books that open churches, zombie cage fights, underground casinos, and a whole lot more. I do like these random events. They definitely help break up the monotony of the game because, good lord, I love Rebuild, but it does get really repetitive real quick. They added a helicopter and a gang war. Both of these are actually endings in the game. Beating the gang, fixing the helicopter, and rewriting the constitution are all the endings that you can get in this game. Graphically, it looks the exact same except these character PNGs. I honest to god had to check that I didn't boot up Rebuild 1. I love Rebuild, it's one of my favorite Flash games of all time, and I gave Rebuild 1 an A+, but there's not enough difference in this game for it to warrant even existing. Just on the merit of what the game is, ignoring that it's meant to be a sequel, I'm gonna give this one an A+ as well, although a very disappointed A+. No more yapping, let's move on to game 3, let's hope it's something better. Let me preface this by saying that either this game is surprisingly hard or I fucking suck. Human Alienoid is just a side-scroller shoot 'em up. We've had a couple of these on the series before, but this one by far is so punishing. I literally didn't get past the first stage. Just out of pure frustration. I'm sure if I really continued to grind this, I could. But by the end of this gameplay, I was clenching my jaw. I was not happy with this. And that is to no fault of the game. This game is actually really fun. The enemies are so smart. They straight up pull out some Call of Duty tricks on you. They would jump around, shoot up, they would drop shot you. They are accurate as hell. And there are so many at all times that it is overwhelming. Because there's so much going on, it is hard to see the enemy bullets, which typically means you're getting hit like all the time. Also, you do have 10 lives, but it only lasts one hit. If you get hit once, that's one of your lives gone. And trust me, you're getting hit quite a bit. At least if you're as retarded as me. By the end, I honestly found it the easiest to just crouch shot the entire time and just occasionally have to jump whenever one of the enemies also try to drop shot. But they have a bunch of mini bosses like this robot, this helicopter fight, and of course the main boss fight, which is this giant robot thing, which I didn't realize until the very end when I died. It's literally written, do not shoot head, and I was not shooting the head. That one's on me. Like I said, I'm a bit retarded. The art style is so nice in a way. Like, it's clearly not high quality, but it is nice to look at. The animations are so juicy and flowy. Everything just feels really good to play. Everything's got that exaggerated motion to it that just, it feels almost like a Looney Tunes cartoon. If I had to give this a score, this is, honest to God, this is an A+ as well. I'm sure if I weren't so trash at this, it probably could have got a higher score, but I had a bit too much of a skill issue to actually play as much as I wanted to. Anyways, ignoring my incompetence, next game. Flight is a part of my favorite genre in the Flash sphere, that being the physics launching games. Yay, more physics launching games. Flight actually has a high score leaderboard that you can put your score onto, which I think is pretty cool. You can customize your plane, although my version wasn't really working well because the colors just kept turning off every time I loaded in. You have 15 different upgrades ranging from rudder control, lightweight, throwing power, fire engine, and more. 24 different achievements to unlock, and unlike most other physics launching games where you have to use this speed and angle mini game, in this one you just pick it up and throw it like it's a paper plane. It's really simple but unique in its own way. After reaching a specific distance, you progress to a new location. Also, at some point when I was playing, there was this random glitch. It freaked me the fuck out, but luckily it didn't break the game. I could continue playing. Overall, Flight is surprisingly probably my favorite physics launcher game yet. I don't believe it's nearly as known as something like Learn to Fly or Toss the Turtle, but it surprisingly was the most enjoyable for me. Now, hear me out. I'm actually going to give this one a flat S. I'm putting this on par with stuff like Toss the Turtle and Learn to Fly. It's really good. I don't really have too much else to say about this that I haven't said about physics launching games before because they're all kind of similar. So if you want to hear more about it, definitely go to my other 2 videos. But honestly, that's about all I have to say about it. So let's just move on to the next game. Electroman 2 is a game that every single teenage boy has definitely played in high school while imagining that there's some kind of action hero, despite the fact that we all definitely look like either a twig or a potato. When booting up the game, you actually get the option to customize your name or color. In the actual combat, you get 6 different attacks, 3 of those being slow motion attacks, which is pretty unique for a game like this. Also, 2 of the 6 attacks being grapple attacks, which have completely unique animations, which honestly does make you feel like an action hero. It's really cool. You play round by round, and each round has 4 matches in it. One thing I learned pretty quick when fighting enemies is if if you throw an enemy directly into the sky, it can land on you and actually knock you down. This happened to me way too much. Unfortunately, while playing, the game did keep crashing after every single match, so I had to keep restarting and I couldn't progress further than round 1. So this glitch definitely fucked up my experience. Although I have played this game a lot in high school, so I have a lot of experience with it anyway, I can safely say that this game is the perfect encapsulation of any boy's dream. It's also definitely iconic in the Flash game sphere, so it has to have a high score. I can't say that I'd give it an S. Maybe if I could have played more of it without it glitching, then sure, but this one's also going to get an A+. Look at that, 5 back-to-back bangers. I don't think we've gotten a single game so far that's less than an A+. Very rare for this channel, so hell yeah. Next game. Spoiler alert, but this game fucks more than Johnny Sins. I don't know what's going on this time, but we're getting nothing but bangers. I haven't had a single bad game yet. Infectonator 2 is a game that I have played a lot as a teenager, and I won't lie, I got lost in it pretty quick. I think so far this is the one I've spent the most time playing, at least for this video. If you don't know what Infectonator is, just look at the name. The entire premise is that you are infecting people and turning them into zombies. You get 10 different upgrades, 7 different zombie types, and 4 support items to use. And you essentially just go from location to location, infecting as many people as you can, beating the challenges, unlocking new areas, and continuing to do this until eventually you take over the entire world. The game is pretty long. I only played like an hour, and I got like a third of the way, so you could play this for a while. Compared to a lot of the other Flash games, this is a long-term game. The game is pretty stylized, it looks nice, it's got that pixel arcadey feel, which everyone loves, and if you don't, grow up. The game does get pretty challenging. You gotta kind of grind out your gold to get the upgrades, because some of these enemies, good lord, they mow you down. I don't have too much to say about this, honestly, but it's just a fantastic game. If you haven't played Infectonator at all, you have to go check this out. Also, this only corroborates my theory that like 90% of Flash games are zombie-based. I'm telling you, man, the early 2000s, zombies were you couldn't walk a single step without seeing zombie shit. I blame Robert Kirkman for creating Walking Dead. Anyway, this game gets an easy S- for me. Yes, this is a biased opinion. No, I will not apologize. Next game. Tasty Planet. You'll probably recognize the soundtrack. It plays at the start of every single video. Welcome back to the channel, it's me, your pal. Tasty Planet is pretty much just like a single player Agario. Your entire objective is that you eat things that are smaller than you, and you get bigger and bigger. Then you eat more things, and you get bigger again. You start off pretty much microscopic, and then you slowly work your way up to the point where, spoiler alert, you eat the entire earth. I could only get the demo version and play half an hour, so I only got up to the bit where I was eating cats. The game is pretty fun, although it does get repetitive. They do try to break up the monotony by some levels being puzzles instead of actually just running around and eating everything you can. I could probably get the full version, but I don't feel like looking for it or paying for it. Plus, I don't really think there's a point. It's gonna be the exact same thing, but different sizes. The game's good. I don't know when it became a paid-for game. I remember it being free and playing it during school, but get your bread, I guess. I'd say out of all of the games so far in the video, this one doesn't quite hold up, but it's still really good, so I'm gonna throw this one a bone and give it a flat A. This was quite obviously Agario's inspiration, so if you enjoy Agario, you'll probably enjoy this one, because you won't have some fat neckbeard that has no life completely ruining your day. Anyway, that's enough of that. Next game. I know there's quite a few people that actually like Motocross FMX, so I'm just gonna get the good out of the way before I tear this thing apart. The only things that are good is you can customize your character and bike, and you can unlock a rideable pig by winning the game. It's pretty cool. Also, the most fun I had out of this was when it glitched out the first time so hard and the wheels moved, but I didn't. Had to go to a different website for it to actually work, and I kind of wish it didn't. Unfortunately for all those Moto FMX fans out there, I hated this game. It was so boring. The controls were so janky, even for a Flash game. The entire premise is that you gotta do laps of this course while doing flips and tricks, get your highest score possible. The tracks are so short anyway, so you end up having to do like 6 or 7 laps. It's not even like fun bad, it was just boring bad. So I gotta give this a flat D, I'm sorry. There are so many other better motorbike games out there. For example, you could play Moto X3M and have a way better experience. Or even Line Rider, which is fantastic. If you're looking for a good motocross game, just don't even bother with this one. And if you are a fan of this one, why? Branch out, please. Enough old man yelling at clouds, let's just move on to the next game. I remember playing this one time as a kid and getting really frustrated because I suck at puzzles, but as an adult, it's just pretty goofy and fun. Impossible Quiz is what I like to call a back of class game. It's not exactly something that you're going to go home excited to play, but it's certainly something that's going to curb your boredom for 30 minutes. The entire premise is you gotta go through every question and answer incorrectly, but the twist is that the answers are a bit wacky. Oh, you think you gotta click one of these answers? No, you gotta click the 17 at the top. Oh, which one of these dots? Oh, you idiot, it's the dot in the eye. There are some pretty bullshit questions, but you know, you do what you gotta do. You can tell that this is certainly like an older game because it's got a Hammer Time reference. Holy shit, what a time capsule. The game's got the type of difficulty where it's clearly bullshit, but it's not to a frustrating degree like some other games. This game also blew up on YouTube. This is one of those ones that every single YouTuber had to get their grubby little mitts on. So it definitely had a cultural impact, at least on the YouTube landscape. I can't say that it's nearly as good as a lot of the other ones on this list, but it's still pretty good and very iconic, so it's going to get a flat B from me. That's about all I've got to say about this one, so let's slide on to the next game. Look at that, another bike game, and this one doesn't want to make me pull my eyes out. This one's less about doing tricks and getting high scores and more just about parkour and getting to the end of the level. You have two different types of vehicles. Both of them feel pretty janky to control, but nowhere near as bad as the last bike game. It's at least doable. I will say the ATV is especially, rough. The entire game took me 7.5 minutes to complete. It's only got 15 levels and they're so easy, it's kind of laughable. Like in the last game, I do consider this a back of class game. This is something that is quick to pick up, quick to put down, right before your English teacher, who's pregnant again, comes over to yell at you. The game's nothing special, it's just okay. If I had to give this a score, it's probably at most a C+. It's not insulting, it's not bad, but it's definitely not good. We do have some absolute banger bike games on this list, I promise. So hopefully we'll get one of those this video. This is a bad day for all bike flash game fans. I feel like I've been kind of zooming through the past few games, and this one's no different because I don't have much to say about it. I mean, it just kind of feels like a really shit version of Happy Wheels. So we're just gonna move on. Fancy Pants Adventures, it's sort of like the Mario game of the Flash sphere. It is just a simple platformer. You don't have any actual attack abilities, you just jump on top of your enemies. Sound familiar? The movements feel so flowy. Like if you stop moving, you'll still glide for a solid half second. And I mean everything feels flowy. The jumping, gliding through the air, like everything is so flowy. It's also pretty unpunishing if you do get hit because you're an idiot like me. It doesn't really take that much health away, and grabbing these little swirly things ups your health anyway. They even have little secret rooms where you can find figurines, I guess. It's a pretty cool addition to the game. Although the map is pretty big, it just doesn't take long to get through it because you're moving so fast. I'm actually a big fan of the Stickman aesthetic. It's so simple, but it really does just fit the vibe so well. World 1 only took me like 8 minutes to beat, and when I went to go to World 2, it just took me to a different browser with the second game, and I'm not bundling both of them into one video. So we're gonna just go off of the content that was available to me. I really liked this game. Had a great time. I just wish there was more content. And that's the downside to these good games that are so short, is it just leaves you wanting more. Now, I don't have Fancy Pants Adventures 2 on the list because I can't assume that it's gonna be any different, but I'm telling you, I'm definitely gonna go play this off screen. I can't give it an S because it just does not have enough content to warrant that, but I will give it a flat A. Rage is a very simple side-scroller beat-em-up. It's got both an arcade and adventure mode. The only difference is adventure mode is, you know, it's more platformy and open. Arcade is just more of like an arena-based thing. It does have a shop where you can buy swords, guns, extra life, fuel, and rockets, and a high scoreboard. Why did I say it like that? I'm a big fan of anything that adds a high scoreboard, but unfortunately, the actual core game itself is, it's fine. Especially after playing Electric Man 2, it's not up to the standards that I want it to be. It's quite literally just a spam fest. It doesn't give me that teenage boy dreamy action hero vibe. I mean, I guess it's cool that you're able to get weapons. If an enemy has a weapon and you kill them, they drop the weapon and you can grab it. It's pretty neat. Unfortunately, there's so many other better side-scroller beat-em-ups out there. To be quite frank, I'd rather beat my wife than beat anything in this game. But that being said, it's not a bad game, so it's going to get a B-. It's not fantastic, but to the average Flash game, it's pretty good. Full disclaimer, I do not beat my partner, she beats me. Please send help. This one's made by the same people that made Toss the Turtle, and that's a game that I really do love. Let's just get the good out of the way. It is still just as gory as Toss the Turtle. So if you're looking for a cutesy gory game, this is pretty good. You get 5 different guns to unlock, a jetpack, and a super shell. There's 50 different achievements to work towards, and 6 different map locations to work throughout. Some of these achievements are pretty wacky too, like you get punched by a banana or stealing the shopkeeper's glasses. So I'm glad that it definitely kept that raw XD Lamau humor. The game is just a side-scroller shoot 'em up that moves for you. You can still move around, but it constantly pushes you to the right. There's a pretty big variety of different enemies, which is good. I like it. You really never know what to expect. One minute you're doming children, and then a giant fucking bomb comes at you. Unfortunately, however, the game, it doesn't tickle my balls. My penis was flaccid the entire time. Not saying it's bad, it's just, it's not enough to get a man erect. It's not you, it's me. I could definitely see some people having a great time with this, but personally, I don't think it's for me. If I had to give this a rating, it would be like a B-, I guess, because it is good. It's well made. There is a pretty decent variety of stuff to do. Man, I just could not get into this one. I didn't care enough. I went to go get milk, and I'm not coming back. That's about it for this one. Next game. What have I got? Oh, and to die, you sweet, sweet, succulent prince. And to die is a game that I would play on repeat, non-stop, and when it came out on the phone, it got worse. We covered Earn to Die 2 in the first Flash Games video, but we're gonna do number 1. I don't know why, I cannot tell you, but I just really prefer number 1 to 2. For those who don't know what Earn to Die is, get on your PC right now and play it. The entire premise is you are driving from one location to the next before running out of fuel. Every time you run out of fuel, you sent back to the garage where you can upgrade your vehicle's engine or transmission. You can add a fucking turret onto it, a booster, some spikes on the front. Fuck it, it's your world. And once you get to the end of it, guess what? Go to the next garage. Now you've got a semi-truck. Fuck it. Why don't we give you whatever this fucking thing is? I absolutely adore this game. It is so fun. It is just chaotic enough to keep your little ADHD son so preoccupied. I'm just going to get the rating out of the way. This is an easy S-. Also, I'm getting this out of the way. Ultrox007, I'm looking at you. Earn Today is a roguelike, and so are all the other games that I said. I looked it up. Google Play said I'm right, and Google Play is never wrong. We love Google Play. I'm just kidding. I love you. I love you. Don't unsubscribe, please. Anyway, next game. Speak of the devil, we've got this abomination that Tasty Planet created. I'm just kidding, it's not an abomination. I actually don't mind this game. Apparently it's got 4 game modes now. Last time I played it, it only had the 1. I'm sure most of you know what Agario is, but in case you didn't, the entire premise is that you start out like a small little fella, and you crawl around eating the small balls to get bigger, and eventually you'll get bigger than other players, and you can eat the other players and ruin their fucking day. Or a big giant chungus is gonna come and devour you. This is Vor the game. This is the Vor game. If you play this, you're into Vor. Speaking of playing it, in the main game mode, there was 5 of us. And the most exciting thing that happened was this guy killing himself and letting me eat him. Maybe I'm into Vor. I tried the Battle Royale game mode. Yeah, I didn't get anything. I was waiting for players for like 5 minutes, nothing. So the game, it's safe to say, is on its way to being dead. I don't think they get enough players to justify even keeping the servers up, but they're still up. I'm gonna judge the game based on what I have played in the past, you know, when people cared about this game, because it's sad to see it in the state that it's in now. If I had to rate it based on my past experiences, I'm going to give this a hesitant A+, bordering on an S-, but just not quite. For me, Slither.io was way better. Enough hootenanny, let's just move on to the next game. Let's get out of this graveyard. Gunblood was a shock to me. When I first saw it, I did not expect to like this type of game. But my god, is it just so well made. The entire premise of Gunblood is essentially Wild West dueling with your pistols. You have to keep your mouse on the ammo, and at the count of 3, you draw, and you try and kill the guy before they kill you. There's 9 different rounds, and it progressively gets harder with each round. Depending on your accuracy, your remaining life, and the time it takes you to win, the more points you get. Obviously, once you die, you have to restart. They also do break up the monotony by every like 3 rounds. They'll throw in like a mini game with bottles or birds or something like that, just to spice up the gameplay gameplay a bit. This game is certainly gory. Like a lot of these Flash games, I don't think kids should have been playing this one, but they certainly were. This game actually has a pretty interesting feature as well that a lot of other Flash games don't have, which is the ability to create groups, aka like clans with your friends. That way you can share your high scores and try to beat each other. You do also have the ability to pick your own custom character, which is a pretty cool ability. However, they all look like absolute fucking crackheads. But just like taking crack, this game is a great time. I can't see you playing this for like a ton of time, but it's good. If you want to kill a few minutes and a few crackheads, this game is for you. I didn't expect it to do so well, but this is going to get a flat A from me. That's about it. Next game. Clear vision is the definition of so bad it's good. This is a clear copy paste of something like Sniper Assassin, but a few differentiating factors. In this one, after every mission, you go home into your apartment and you can look at the news or the newspaper to see more information about what you did. Then you go to your computer to accept more missions. Gameplay wise, it is literally the exact same as Sniper Assassin, so nothing exciting there. But holy shit, they added cutscenes into the game, and whoa, they're pretty interesting. The voice acting and the sound effects, they're good. They're pretty good. Barely tell this was a Flash game.
I hate his red eye and his damn hair.
I know this was probably made by like two teenagers over the course of like maybe a couple days, but oh my god. When I tell you I was cackling when I was watching this, it's insane. They try to like flesh out some sort of overarching story. The game itself is 5 minutes long. It's 5 minutes long. Yeah. And then it just ends with like you're about to kill a military guy and then someone puts a gun against your head and then it ends and it says wait for part 2. Without the goofy cutscenes, this would be a lot lower. I guess I'm gonna give this a flat C. Nah, you know what? I'm bumping it down to a C minus because it is so short. There needs to be like more game to your game, man. That's all I got. Next game. Line Rider is something that's extraordinarily nostalgic to me. I vividly remember playing this at like 7 years old in the classroom, and maybe it was my child brain, but I remember this being way cooler. Unfortunately, the concept alone is pretty cool, especially for a young kid whose brain is developing and, you know, full of creativity. But as a jaded and boring adult, it's fine, I guess. In case you don't know what Line Rider is, my bad. The entire premise is you're creating a little track for your penguin sleigh guy to go through. You've got your blue, red, and green, which all have different properties to them. Like the red makes it go fast. This is as well what I would call a backer class game. This is not something you'd go home to play, but it's something. I feel like if you're in high school, you'd use this to draw penises and other stuff. And as a kid, it's pretty cool. Maybe it's also because it's a penguin. I do love penguins. Like as a child, I was a bit autistic. Not now though. I'm normal. I'm normal now. It came out in 2006, so it's probably one of the first Flash games to come out. So it's definitely iconic and has a legacy. So that's definitely going to bump it up. And I think overall, this game's going to get a B minus, only because of how revolutionary this type of game was. Although if I'm going to do a level building game, I'd rather something like Geometry Dash or Happy Wheels. I was really hoping this would get at least an A or maybe even an S, but unfortunately, I just cannot give it that. Child me would be so disappointed. Clop reminds me of an even shitter version of another game that I already hate, Clop. And I already said in the last video, Clop can fuck right off, so Clop can fuck right off too. If you don't know, it's essentially just you're using your H, J, K, and L keys to very awkwardly maneuver your horse from one side to the other as far as you can. This is one of those like ragdoll physics games that are purposefully really annoying. Like with Clop, this definitely blew up on YouTube. A lot of YouTubers covered this. In fact, I couldn't find a version that worked without downloading some external software. So I ended up using all the clips from Markiplier's video. I love Markiplier. He's doing great for himself. I don't know how he blew up with such classics like Clop video.
I'm a unicorn. I'm a pretty cornucopia unicorn.
Unfortunately, I do remember playing this game and I remember hating it as well. I can't remember what I gave Clop, but this one's definitely getting like a D minus, if not almost an E plus. Also, what an unfortunate name. If you know anything about clopping, then you're a man of culture. Let's be friends. I know I said other games have that like arcade aesthetic, but this one looks like it was ripped straight out of an arcade. An arcade that Nintendo shockingly hasn't blown up yet. This is so full of copyright infringement. They straight up have Goombas, Donkey Kong, and an entire water level that looks like it was ripped straight out of a Mario game. I mean, there's so much copyright material here that I'm shocked that this game hasn't been slapped into the black hole of forgotten media forever. That's not to say that this game doesn't stand on its own 2 feet, because it's pretty good. It is just a side-scroller beat 'em up, sorry, probably should have started with that. And it's not like inherently gory because it's so pixelated. That's like calling the original Mortal Kombat gory, like I guess, but not really. But the implications are insane. I mean, there's children and you rip their heads off and eat them and get health, and it's not a one-time thing. This happens a couple times. You pierce this guy with a forklift and then blow up the entire building. Like, there's some violence. I think the absolute insanity of your surroundings and the things that are happening make up for the pretty simple and boring combat, which is just ASAS. Because for the most part it is a spam fest, but then they do throw in gameplay that is wildly different, like this water section that just, it takes you completely off guard. Not to mention, this game's got like an unholy amount of achievements. If I had to give this one a score, I'm giving it a solid S-. Just from how like absolutely wild and unique this game is, I love it. If you want to play a big black man ripping kids' heads off, perfect game for you. Unfortunately, that is all we have for the video. Ignore the giant pile that close behind. I'll get to it, okay? If you made it this far in the video, I assume you liked the video, so go press the like button and maybe comment, say you want more of this. I mean, I'm going to do another 2 parts anyway. I've already committed to this. If you haven't already, go check out the other 2 parts. We have another 2 parts after this, and then I'm going to combine them all into one big video, a big old Flash Games movie, if you will. Also, subscribe. Like, 98% of you watching aren't subscribed, which is insane. What do you... Come on. I know some of you aren't subscribed, but you've watched multiple of my videos. If that's you, why do you hate me? Just subscribe. Just make it easier for both of us. Also, I know some people are getting frustrated with the fact that I have no idea how to end videos, and it's been, like, this is like the 7th video that I have done that I haven't really ended properly. I apologize. So I've decided, you know, the most, like, obviously the most sane way to end a video, let's do a countdown. Let's count down to get 3, 2, 1, end the video.